Streaming now, this is the Wood TV Live Desk.
And good afternoon, everyone. Phil Penarski here with the News 8 Live Desk. Hope you're having a great day so far, and you're going to be seeing a brand new face on your screens here at News 8 if you haven't seen her already. We are so happy to be introducing the newest member of the News 8 family, Adriana Doria. Adriana, thank you so much for being here today. Really looking forward to getting the chance to really bring you in here, get the audience to meet you a little bit more. What does it feel like, first couple days here at Wood 8?
The first couple days have been amazing. I'm so excited to be a little bit closer to home, originally from here, or from Metro Detroit, so get to be a little closer to home. But everyone has been so welcoming, and it's just been great to be back in Michigan and experience this such a big city and meet all of the journalists and reporters and anchors and producers and everyone here. So it's been just awesome, amazing.
Yeah, can you talk a little bit more about what it means to you to be back here in Michigan? Like you said, you're a Michigan native on the east side of the state of however, but now you're on the west side. What does it mean to you to be a little bit closer to home?
Yeah, I've always had some ties to West Michigan. My dad went to Grand Valley. My mom went to Michigan, so kind of split the state there. But super excited to be back closer to home. It's just my family is excited. It's now an easy 2-hour drive, so I can just stop by on the weekends for a little home-cooked meal, which will always be good. But yeah, excited to tell the stories here as well and learn a different community. It's far enough away from home where I get to be in a totally new place, it feels like, so really excited to do that.
And you're coming to us after reporting in Charleston, West Virginia.
Yes.
What was that first experience like? Your first station right out of college. I know everybody kind of has that come to moment where they're like, oh my gosh, I'm really a part of the journalism community. I'm really telling people's stories. What was that experience like in a place like Charleston, West Virginia?
Yeah, absolutely. You can see some of those pictures. Those were from my first station, a lot of those, some of them from college as well. But Charleston, West Virginia was awesome. It was definitely a culture shock in a positive way. It was a totally different community. It was a lot more of a rural area, so I got to tell a lot of stories there. My coolest story that I got to tell was I did an exclusive interview with Brad Paisley.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's a country star. He's actually from West Virginia, and he came to an event for a high school there that kind of backstory was the high school. There was really bad flooding in West Virginia, like I think 6 years prior, and a high school totally went completely under. So it took 6 years to revamp, and he kind of helped with the funding and came to the big ribbon cutting. And I got to ask him just 2 questions, but 2 was all I needed. It was so cool. Got to interview the governor up there a few times and really just meet a lot of like the local leaders and law enforcement and all of that. But I think the best stories were always the ones that came from like just residents in the area. Sometimes they're the hardest stories to tell because a lot of times you're getting them at their worst and they're really sad stories, but hearing from them I think is so inspiring, and it really teaches you a lot about empathy, a lot about being a human and talking to people in their worst, but sometimes those are the most heartwarming stories, I think.
Yeah, no, that kind of leads into my next question. Just the types of stories that you really do like telling. I know some people, they really love the sports side of things, or as you mentioned, talking to Brad Paisley. I mean, getting those celebrity one-on-ones is also really cool. But, also given the features, kind of like what you mentioned, just, telling those everyday stories of everyday people. What's really a story that, when our editors and our producers and managers all come up to us and say, this is what you're going to be covering today, that it's going to be a good day?
Yeah, well, I always loved politics. I went to school in Washington, D.C., so I have a knack for that. I've never actually liked politics going into college, but I feel like you kind of have to like it when you go to school in D.C., and I just fell in love with all things that. But, you don't get to cover politics every day, so I love breaking news. I think I do really well in kind of like the adrenaline, and I love kind of being able to give viewers information literally as it's coming in. I'm doing that with the newsroom. I'm learning it as it's coming in, and I always try to be just as transparent as possible, and here's what we're trying to find out, here's what we already know, and kind of tell the viewer that as we go, so that they're not just watching, well, why haven't you done this, or why haven't you done this? Here is what I'm doing, and here's what I'm going to do after I do this live shot, for example. So I really like breaking news. I think it's really important because, especially if maybe someone's in a state of panic, what's going on outside my door, and they turn on the news, they want to know what's going on. So I like being that. I also love a positive story every once in a while. I know sometimes the news can't do that all the time, but I love telling those feature-y stories, maybe a local business that's doing something really cool in the community, or a local athlete, or a local singer, or something like that. Just talking with the community, I think, is some of my favorite stuff.
Well, you already have a couple of fans. We have a couple people watching right now, and Sandy and Tracy, they both say welcome home and welcome to the team, and they're very happy to get the chance to start seeing you on the TV a little bit more, and I think that leads perfectly into this next question, Adriana, is, as the newest member of News 8, you're gonna be covering a wide variety of different topics. What do you hope that you bring to our viewers here in West Michigan? Something that you think that you can really provide to this team, and especially during those newscasts, what people can really expect to see and look out for?
Yeah, I think so much in our media climate. Something that's really important is to be transparent and to be trusted, and I hope I can be that for the viewers here. I also just want to be a positive energy when you do get to cover those fun events. I want to bring some smiles and some energy to the station and to the news, but I think overall just making sure that you are as trusted as possible, and I want to be able to connect with the viewers and be trusted in the community, so that if people do see me, that they feel like they can come to me because they know I will tell the story in the best way possible.
Well, that is a fantastic answer. And Adriana, now that we got all that boring get-to-know-you stuff out of the way, I think it's time we start stepping into some rapid-fire questions, if you're up for it, to allow everybody to get to know you a little bit more. All right, so first things first. Was reading your bio before you actually came on here. Got to know you a little bit ahead of time before we actually got to talk. It says that you love to cook. Got to ask, when you are meeting people or when you're preparing a meal for somebody, what's your favorite thing to cook and kind of, is like your specialty that people know is going to be great?
Yeah, I love, that's so hard because I cook so many things. I'm part Italian, part Greek, so I always find myself making some sort of Italian food or Greek food. That could be so many different things. I'm a sucker for chicken fried rice. I love that. I love I like taking basic things and trying to elevate them a little, especially when you live alone. I feel like you have to how can I make white rice taste good and just mix a bunch of things together. I love baking though, specifically, so I love chocolate chip cookies and all those types of things, cakes and all that. So I'm sure some of the people in the newsroom will be able to indulge in some of my baked goods. I'll bring them in one day. But it's so hard to answer favorite thing to cook because I cook so many things.
Well, I'll say, we do a lot of baking here at News 8, so you're definitely going to have the opportunity to really spread the joy, and I can't tell you how excited I am to try some of those cookies.
That's the thing I learned about news is there's always free food here all the time. I learned that in college, and here it's, so I'm excited for some food and to indulge.
Right. No, and you're also really into musicals, I've heard. So I got to ask, somebody who has seen quite a few musicals myself, do you have a favorite that you always love going, whether it's just for the atmosphere of it or really a show that has always stood out to you, maybe you only saw it one time, and what's the best soundtrack to a musical, do you think?
So my favorite musical I've seen, I think it's a tie. I have a top three that aren't in any particular order.
Let's hear them.
Hadestown, Waitress, and Dear Evan Hansen, I think, were my top three. Also, Six, the musical, is kind of up there as well. I've seen a lot of different stuff. I was an avid Broadway and Detroit goer when I was living over there. So those are some of my favorites. I think my favorite soundtrack is probably Waitress, I think, is probably my favorite. But yeah, I was always that kid that, what do you want for your birthday? Oh, just tickets. I don't need anything else. I just want to go see something. So
you want to see the experience of it all.
I'm excited to see shows in Grand Rapids. That was something I always wanted to do in Charleston. They didn't come as frequently, so I know they come a lot more here, so I'm excited to be able to experience the theater life here.
Right, no, the theater scene here is really, really incredible. All right, moving on, Adriana. Winter or summer? I know, especially here in West Michigan, the seasons are really out in full force. You're going to experience all four of them in due time. But, as compared to the two opposite ends, winter and summer, is there one that you tend to really look forward to the most?
Definitely summer. I've heard, I've had my my warnings about the lake effect snow
Yeah,
here, so I'm
yeah.
not looking forward to that. So definitely summer. It's warm. You don't have to be cold all the time. Great.
Right, absolutely. Dogs or cats? Do you have one? Maybe you had one or the other growing up, or one that you prefer?
I actually didn't have any growing up. My
Okay.
sister was allergic when she was young, so we had to get rid of. We gave our dogs to our family, other family. But I would say cats probably. I just feel like they're just like they have a mind of their own, and they can
Right.
kind of just like live on their own. Like
Yeah.
you don't really have to worry about them, and they're not as like they're very low maintenance. So and they're
Right.
also just really cute.
Yeah, absolutely. Would you rather be working early mornings or late nights? Are you kind of a night owl or an early
Yeah.
riser?
I'm actually, so I'm gonna be working nights.
Yeah.
I think there's pros and cons to both. I think I like nights. I find like I work better at night. Even in college, I would always do work at night. The only benefit of mornings is, and you get like the rest of your day. So
Right.
I'm like, I always wonder if I would like the morning shift. But I think nights definitely, I work better at night, and I feel like it's easier to operate instead of being really tired at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Right, absolutely. Is there a current show or movie that you are either currently binging or one that you would really recommend to people watching? I know we're always looking for new things to
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
check out in our busy lives, but
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
when we do have those times to really sit down and enjoy something, is there anything you would always recommend to people?
Yeah, I'm super late to the game, but I'm watching Suits right now.
Okay, yeah.
I just started, well, I mean, I started a couple months ago, but I'm still in it. I'm on like season 5, so that's a really good show. What else have I watched? I love Friends, always and forever. I watched that. That's a good background show. I've seen it like 4 times all the
Yeah.
way through. It never gets old. It's never not funny. So I watched that. Movies? I honestly haven't seen a lot of movies recently. I saw Inside Out 2. That was really good. Other than that, I need to go see some more movies, is what I'm hearing for myself.
Right, yeah, no. Well, those are all really great
Yeah.
options. I know a lot of people, especially Suits, I think that really got a recent
It
resurgence.
really did, yeah. I was like, I need to get on the hype here, like what is going on. So I
Right.
started it. It's very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
All right. Well, good to know. All right. Well, Adriana, last question, kind
Yeah.
of wrapping up. What is your favorite part? What is your favorite thing, aspect to working in news and being a part of a team here, like you are at News 8?
Yeah, I love doing something different every day. I don't see myself, I could not have a desk job. I love just the hustle and bustle, the adrenaline of news and being able to cover something different every day. You never know what your day is going to look like in news, and I think that that's so like exciting and exhilarating. So that's my favorite part about news specifically. I guess newsrooms, this newsroom is awesome. I love the collaboration. I love just like friendships and the bonds that everybody here, because you spend so much time together in news, so they become some of your lifelong friends, and even people from my old station I'm still like best friends with and will probably be a part of my life for a very long time. So that is also really awesome.
All right. Well, fantastic stuff. Adriana, thank you so much for stopping by. I
Thank
do want to
you.
remind everybody that Adriana is going to be all over your newscast coming up in just a little bit. If you haven't already seen her, she's already made her debut and she's already hit the ground running.
Yes.
We're so excited to have and happy to have her here. So, Adriana, thank you so much for being a
Thank
part
you.
of the News 8 family.
Thank you. Good to be here.
I want to thank everybody else for tuning into this latest edition of the News 8 Live Desk. I'm Phil Pinarski, and we hope you have a great rest of your day.